E3 is officially dead.
But is the games industry better without it?
Let's talk about it. Tam, it's happened. E3 is officially gone. It's dead in the water. It's not
Rest
coming
in
back.
peace, the electronic triples.
So we thought we'd talk a little bit this week about why that matters, where the games industry goes from here. To think that we will never have that show again. It was the tentpole event in gaming for 25 something years?
Yeah, you never know what you have until it's gone. That's what they say, right? It kind of applies to E3. I think for a lot of people, E3 was, the gamer pilgrimage. That's what you wanted to do at least once in your lifetime, right? You wanted to go to E3. And even up until it started to nosedive a bit, people still had that aspiration.
They opened it up to the public in those last couple of years. You could just see the actual excitement of people who their lifelong dream had been to go to E3, and they could just walk around and see, Todd Howard or whoever walking around.
Yeah, exactly. E3 was the show that made games and the people that make them somewhat accessible. You could go there and play those games. You could also, see people like you who would also, enjoy those games and are looking forward to them. But also, like you said, run into a well-known creator and maybe show them some love or something like that. A lot of people are saying like we're beyond that now because we've got all these other things. I don't think in totality anything serves all the functions that E3 gave us.
In terms of big, flashy stage show things, that's the Game Awards, but also the Game Awards is coupling with an identity crisis of its own, where it is the big press conference, but also it's trying to be an awards ceremony. It definitely shows it hasn't got the balance right. You've got DICE, you have GDC, you've got all the PAXs, you have DreamHack, you have whatever. But E3 was the centralized thing. Everyone would be there.
And then also for people who, on our side of it, who had aspirations of being in media, that was the place you went to establish yourself.
I self-funded my E3 trip, my very first one in 2012. I self-funded it. GameSpot got me a badge because I'd been an intern, and they were like, yeah, don't worry about it, we can get you a badge. I did a bunch of freelance, and then a couple months later is when I got my first proper job in the industry. Yeah,
the functions of E3 have been almost democratized into a bunch of other places, but what we lose is a singular moment and a singular space where all of it can come together in a major way. Part of our E3 coverage job was like, hey, BBC or Sky or whatever wants to talk to you. So as well as on your appointment list, you'd have like time blocked out speak to mainstream media about this stuff. And we were kind of like the conduit between the gaming world and the mainstream news world, so that the wider world knew what was happening in our little corner of entertainment. We're not saying that's important because we want the mainstream to like us. It's because it showed people that we were here, and that's where people were like, oh, I can get recruited into a game studio. And that was like attracting talent on the development side, publishing side, journalism side, media side. It was really important for that. The thing to keep an eye on now is whether Summer Games Fest grows. It's now part of the Jeff Keighley empire. The last 2 years that we've been to, it's showed a wild amount of potential.
Even the change from the first year we went to this year, 2023, it was a huge difference. What was your favorite E3 moment? Because I went to 7 or 8 of them.
I went to maybe like 3. There's so many different moments. I think like one of my favorites was just being around. Like they had I tweeted a picture of it. They had like the Metal Gear Solid, like they created the like the helipad thing, and I went and checked that out, and there was no one else there, and I was just like, wow. I'd never been enveloped by games in that way before. I didn't go to a lot of press conferences, but then there's all these other things as well. Like I remember we often have to take people around, like tours, the E3 tours.
That was something that we've never really talked about. But for a while there was like we would be used to chat to clients or whoever and be like, you'd have to show them what E3 was. So it'd just be me and you with a big lollipop and like a headset microphone and go, okay everyone, make sure to stick with the group.
They were listening. And it's like a museum tour.
Yeah. It was like, and here's Fortnite and here's Kojima Productions.
And it'll be like people like from like Pepsi, wherever they invest or like take an interest within the industry, was down to us kind of like selling it to them, and not necessarily just for us. It wasn't like we want to work with GameSpot, sell it to us. It was like they would go away with an understanding of the industry as a whole and choose whether they want to invest or spend money in it and build it up a bit more. Those were the first time I did that. That was really fun, and it was like, because at the end of it, you'd go around all the booths, and at the end of it, they'd come up to you and be like, I really enjoyed that, or like, can you tell me more about this game, or etc., etc. And you got to just speak to people who are genuinely interested about it. It was the first time I met Phil Spencer and interviewed him, was live on stage, and that was a big deal for us because like ordinarily Big Phil didn't go around and do a lot of these stuff, but we were like lucky enough to get him for a bit, and it was an amazing interview and it went really well. We were so nervous going into it. We prepared so much for that interview, and then once it was over, we had like a huddle. It was like me, you, and Mahadi, and we were like fist bumping, and we were like, yeah, that went good. There's so many like wild stories that just don't happen anymore. You can find out about like Method Man appearing randomly, like all different members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and obviously it's a different world now.
Jodie Foster there once.
I was sitting on the floor one time and Kanye West walked out and was like in front of me, and I was like, this was
I remember
like
that, yeah.
this was like Kanye many years ago, and I was like, what is going on? This was the good way of kind of having celebrities at your gaming event. It wasn't they were brought on to be like, I broke my leg, you suck, shut up. It was, oh, this person is here because they have a genuine interest in being here, and maybe it's like somewhat, you know, pushed by a marketing thing, but like you would see Method Man was there around gamers. You'd find like Elijah Wood or something, like playing a game, and you're like, oh damn, that's Elijah Wood.
I will say there are definitely elements of E3 that are going to continue, but I think it's due to the companies who have pioneered. So Nintendo always went big on their booths. Their booths were always incredible. We earlier this year went to PAX and we went to Nintendo. Same vibes. It was
way bigger though.
Themed, way bigger, way more pods. I really hope that that's the spirit of E3 that gets taken and made into a much bigger thing.
E3 is gone. What is hanging in the balance is the sense of community it provided. More so than like they've got to play games. It's the community, and I think like that is more important than anything. I would like whatever comes up in its wake to enshrine that more than here's a series of trailers that we're going to bring you, like that feeling. And Summer Games Fest feels like it's a couple of steps in that direction, and I hope that continues. But rest in peace, E3.
That's it for this week's episode of Spot On, and actually that's it for Spot On for this year, because we are tired, and also next week is a short week here for GameSpot. So no episode next week. We'll be back in the new year. Probably the second week of the year, because we're both off that first week and finally taking a little vacation.
Yeah, for sure. If you have any, like, let us know what you thought of Spot On in the comments. That would be nice.
Let us know your favorite E3 memories, because I've been sort of reliving them. I think my favorite is still Peggle 2 getting announced by that one guy.
Very good,
obsessed. What an incredible way of announcing a game, and I use that GIF all the time.
And tell us what you thought about the show. What would you like to see in the future? And maybe we'll take a look and try and, you know, make some tweaks to the show if we feel like it's necessary.
But thank you everyone who's been watching all year and leaving comments and sharing it. We really appreciate it. Like, we're not just saying that.
No, truly. We met a bunch of people live.
The heart.
We met like people in real life who have been like, I really love Spot On, and it's been like tear-inducing moments, like
anxiety and tear-inducing. But in a
good way.
Nice way.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you and hope you have happy holidays, whatever it is you are doing, and we will see you in 2024.
Bye.